What's up, my dude? So today, guess what we're going to be talking about? That's right. 11 to 16 headliners, what this video is specifically for. I do have a video coming up for 08 to 10s, so stay tuned for that one. But today, 11 to 16 headliners, everything you should know and need to know, and all the parts, and we're going to slap this sucker in there. So stay tuned for that. If you're curious about it, that's what this video is for. Only the headliners. The next one, maybe we'll do the seat belts and the plastics and the pillars and stuff like that. But I'm trying to get a little more detailed on my videos so more people know stuff, and who don't like watching a YouTube video versus me trying to text it to you and like, you need this part, this one. What about the, you learn, and then it makes it easier on everyone. So, little story about this headliner. We bought a bunch of interior that's under some of these boxes, is a little buried. 11 to 16, we bought 2016 Platinum interior. It's supposed to come in the headliner. Guy said he was gonna have it shipped here from the guy he bought his stuff from, and then it never showed up. He never, whatever, and then finally he said he was gonna ship it, and it had a sunroof cut out. And I was like, bro, I don't need a sunroof cut out. Why are you trying to send me that? He said, it's a headliner. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever, I'll find out. So I did. So luckily, searching everywhere, you know how hard it is to find one without a sunroof cut out for 11 to 16. It's very hard. So I don't know, the 11 to 16, in the higher trims, Ford was like Oprah and like, you get a sunroof, you get a sunroof, you get a sunroof, giving everyone sunroofs. So it's very hard to find one without one. So I went ahead and I got one out of a work truck. So this was originally gray XLT, and I went and took it to an upholstery shop. They recovered it for me for about 150 bucks. It came out really good. It's really nice. It's like the same texture that you find on the Super Duty. So he gave me a whole book I get to pick through, and I was like, this one looks exactly what I need. So other than that, 150 bucks he recovered it. So I think I got the headliner for like $100 something. So $250 I got the correct headliner. But there's more. We had to get the correct piece of this because the one from the junkyard was gray. We don't want gray, we're going black, baby. So we got a black one. I was still able to get it from Ford new. I think it was $100 too. So we got this, and he wants to add a power back window, so we got the switch. So we're good there. We're getting the parts we need. The other thing you need to know about this is if you're gonna rock this, you need to make sure and you get the bracket for it. This bad boy, okay? Now there's two different style overhead consoles. There's one with the sunroof and one without the sunroof cutout. So the one without the sunroof cutout is a lot longer. The one with it is obviously shorter. So make sure you get the long one. The sunroof cutout one's more of a cube, more square. So you're gonna need this because this will mount to the cab, and then this overhead console mounts to this. So make sure you get this. I think you can still get them at Ford. They're like 20 bucks. So you'll need that for the overhead console. All right, next thing, obviously your fancy new sun visors. Make sure you get the little clippy for it, so you can clip them in. The sun visors are pretty simple. They do have a vanity light inside them, most of them, and that's what that plug is. Those just need 12 volt, pretty simple. So, but you need a little work to mount them in, but we'll get there. So now that you got your visors and your overhead console figured out, the next thing is this dome light. Hopefully your headliner came with dome light. Pretty much all 08 to 16 dome light in the backs are the same. So one thing I do is I put LED bulbs in them and kind of see them. I just get LED bulbs off Amazon and slap them in there because the original incandescent bulbs, man, they suck. It's too dark in the truck. So the next thing is the coat hooks. Make sure you get the coat hooks. You need 2 of them for both sides, and then voila. So that's pretty much cosmetically everything that you need. And then for that dome light, make sure that you get this bracket. It's probably connected underneath your light. So usually most of the time these are always together. If they're sticking in your headliner and your dome light's mounted, it's probably in there. So that one's not too hard to get. The second issue I had was this was an XLT headliner, and now we're adding some extra options running through it, being that switch for the rear power back window. We want that going. So what I did was I was able to track down, my bad guys, I was able to track down a Lariat headliner harness off eBay. I got it for like 60 bucks. Got everything we need. So we'll be able to run our power back window and all that. And the issue was this plug. I didn't have this plug, and that's what plugs into the overhead console to power the back window. It's basically like a window switch. As you can see, the XL one's a lot thinner. So this one, we don't need no more. So other than that, one of the next steps I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead, now that you know everything that we need, you got all your little bells and whistles. Next thing we need is we need a little hardware to, you know, mount some of the new hooks, mount some stuff, but we'll get there when we get to the install. So one of the next steps that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this headliner over, and then I'm gonna mount our new harness on here and make sure the headliner's not missing anything else, and then we'll go from there. So give me some time. Ford just hot glues them on there, so I'm gonna do the same thing, and I'll be right back. All right guys, so we got our headliner flipped over, laid out. We got the new wiring harness on there. I didn't glue it yet, it's just chilling. So you can see where Ford ran they had their factory little glue going. And the cool part kinda is they actually leave a little trail for you where your harness is supposed to go. See? It's like, boom, this one's for the visor. This one's for the dome lights. This one's for the other visor. This one's for the back dome lights. So it's kind of cool how Ford does that. So the cool part is if you heat up this glue too, it also gets sticky. So we use a combination of my hot glue and what they got on there. And then another thing to check to make sure you have, because you're probably gonna need it, is these magnets. So I guess when I pulled this down, this magnet ripped out. Looks like they went a little light on the glue there. And so you really want these magnets, because these magnets are what hold up the headliner in the center. There's no more push pins. So luckily, I went back to the junkyard and found mine. Found it still sitting in the roof of the cab. So we're gonna glue that sucker back in, glue all that down, and we'll be good to go. So I'm not gonna lie, it's probably gonna take me like 30 minutes, probably longer to glue all this down. So I'll be back with a finished glued in harness. So, all right guys, I figured while the headliner is gluing, let's put this bad boy in. This one's super easy, super simple to put in. Make sure you got your 2 little rubber bump stops on there. Other than that, you just need 2 sheet metal screws and a drill, and this sucker going in 2 seconds. So check this out. So I have a cutout. You can see the headliner's snipped right there, and I use it specifically for what we're doing for mock-up, so that I don't have to pull my nice headliner in and out and worry about creasing and damaging it, taking it in and out. So basically we have to mount this to the cab. It just mounts on these 2 screw holes. Very simple. Question is getting it in the right position. Oh shit, I slipped. So this sits up in there in the cab, and the 2 screw holes go about right there. So the reason I have the headliner up in there is so I can put this up in the headliner, get it in the right position where I like it, centered on the headliner, and it's screwed in. So let me go ahead, let me obviously drop the headliner, slip this in, and then show you what we're looking at. Okay guys, so we got it up in there. What I tried to do is center the headliner on that and on that, because obviously those will mount in the same spot, the little hooks for the visors. So we got her in there, ran her 2 sheet metal screws, and she's in there now. So when I pull the headliner down, that'll stay with the truck. Now the next thing I'm probably gonna do is go get a Sharpie, because if you look, the new visors don't line up in the correct holes. So we actually need to move them over a little bit. It could even go up a little bit. Basically it goes like a 1/2 inch diagonally in. So if we come to the other side, we got the same issue. So, because if you try to screw it in the same holes, which you can get away with it, you're gonna have a gap over here, and you'll be able to see it because the sun visor, the little bezel, doesn't cover this whole area. So let me go get a Sharpie. I'm gonna do this, but let me go ahead and hot glue gun that harness in. So we'll be back. What's up guys? So about got the headliner harness all wrapped up. So we got this sucker all hot glued in, looking nice and pretty. So the cool part is this truck already had lights or wires for the vanity lights on the visors, but on the newer trucks they decided, instead of running it through the front of the truck through up the A-pillar, on the new trucks they run it through the headliner wiring, and it just taps off the constant 12 volt that goes to the same for the domes. So technically we don't need the old wiring anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna delete that, because it does have the plugs and the wiring there, but there's no reason to have two plugs doing the same thing. So that's what this wire is going to, to the visor, and then we got the one for the other side over there. But got everything glued down, looking good. The thing is, it's getting a little late, and the next step, we do got to run some power tools. So I'm gonna save that for tomorrow, and then you can see everything in the daylight. So it's better, make for a better video and not piss off my neighbors. So other than that, we got the sucker glued. I'll see y'all tomorrow, and we'll be right back. All right guys, what's up? So new day. So we got our headliner done. I got everything glued down. Now make sure that you put in that back dome light before anything else next, because if you don't put that dome light in now while you got the headliner out, it's a nightmare trying to get it in and clipped in with the headliner in the truck. So make sure you got that back dome light in on this 11 to 16 one. Another tip and trick, or tip, is if you're doing a 2016 headliner, make sure you're using the same generation plastics. I can't stress that enough. You cannot use 08 to 10 pillars and seat belts. You need to be using 11 to 16, because there's the gaps in the headliners meet in different spots. So don't be trying to use a new headliner and your old seat belts and pillars, whatever the seat belts and pillars you're using, you got to use that, same generation headliner. And I'm talking from 99 to 07. You can only use that stuff, 08 to 10, 11 to 16. So keep those in mind. So, all right, let's go ahead to the truck, and I'm gonna show you the next step on what I do, and we're gonna work on the sun visors. So I'll meet you at the truck. All right, guys. So now we're in the truck. So we already got that mounted. So the next step I did was I mount the visor clips in, so I can get a correct distance when I need to put them. Because if you mount the visor too far, one way, you're gonna have to extend the visor and clip it on there. If you make it too far that way, it's gonna be too long to clip in. So you wanna make sure, I do that just to double check, make sure I got my visors in the correct spot. So now that we had our mock-up headliner in there, you can use yours. I just use this because I do so many of them. I drew the circle where it's supposed to go. So as you can see, it scoots over and up. We're going up and diagonal on both ends. Basically, we're coming into the truck. So I drew the outline of where the headliner was sitting. And what I do is go based off the corner of these squares. And I just go up just a little bit. And that's where the new holes are basically at. The issue is this also needs to move, because that nipple needs to be recessed into the cab. So what I usually do, you can see I kind of started, I take a grinder, I'm going to grind it out there, and probably grind from this corner to that corner of the square, and then I'll take a hammer and try to push it in. Or with a Dremel, it just takes too long. This metal's too thick for the Dremel, and my grinder's a little big. I could get one of those things I could put on my drill that's like one of those little granite bits or whatever, and slowly spin. But I'm gonna be here all day slowly grinding through it. This metal's a little thick, in case you roll the freaking truck, you don't want this to be thin. So let me go ahead and see if I can notch out a good little section so we can basically scoot the visor over. So I already pre-drilled my holes already too. So with this metal being thick, you can use it as a nut basically. So other than that, let me see if I can notch out that hole, and we'll get these bad boys mounted. So gang. All right guys, so I just wanted to share something, this little piece. So I want to try it. I never tried them before. They're not a must-have. I'm gonna try to get my hands on a bunch of these, so maybe if people do need them and want to use them, they can. But I went ahead and pulled these off the truck, that work truck I got the headliner from, this guy, and I want to try to use them. So I went ahead and experimented and got the driver's side all done, good to go. It works great. And you can see I have the spacer on there. So and I think the reason they use the spacer is so you don't pinch the wiring on the cab when you screw it in. Because if we run this straight to the cab, this wire is going to be on there pretty tight. Now, granted, it'll probably be fine. There won't be no problems, but I kind of wanted to try to do it, see if we can make the job even better, Because, when I do this stuff, I'm still learning stuff every day. I'm not perfect. I didn't design these trucks, so I learn as I go too. So you get to learn too. So what I discovered on the other side, and I took a picture of the 6.7 truck, they do a big cutout. So instead of this circle, it's a huge square. and basically it clips into the cab using these. But I don't think I want to do that. I think I still just want to bob this hole out a little bit so that the little nipple clears. And then so now that this little cone triangle will be gone, we're just gonna have a flat spacer. And what I did over here just to hold it in place was I just put some thin double-sided sticky tape to hold it up there. And then I was able to clip in the headliner to this, and then I was able to run my screws. So that's how I discovered. I thought the screw holes were the same distance, but on the newer one, it's actually just a little wider. So luckily I had enough sheet metal to save myself. So other than that, let me go ahead and cut this piece and show you basically how I did it. But I think this is pretty important, so I'm gonna try to get my hands on a bunch of these. All right, guys, so we got the visors in, ready to rock. So got them in there working pretty good, you know, and meet up on the clicker. So pretty stoked. Got them screwed in. So now what I can do is I'm gonna pull the visors off, and now the headliner can actually go in. So that's the cool part. So, but what I'm doing is we're taking out this old window and we're putting in a newer 08 and up window, power sliding one. So I figure, why not take advantage of that? Because usually I feed them through the back passenger door. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pop out that back window, and we're gonna feed the headliner through the back. So then, you know, less risk a chance of creasing it basically. So, but I usually do have good luck taking it through the back door. So other than that, let me pop out this back window and get this headliner in here. Hey, what's up, guys? So, oh shit, we got wrecked. You know, hope you all having a good weekend. Watching some NASCAR, editing, making all my YouTube videos. You know, I upload them every day. But I noticed one clip was missing. It was when I was installing that little white clip bracket for the sun visor. And what I do is I nick off that cone, and so it's just a flat spacer basically, and I double side sticky tape it to the cab. And that's pretty much it. And then, you know, the visor just mounts right to that, the two screws. So hopefully you can figure that out. It's not rocket science. You saw it sitting between the visor and the cab. Other than that, hope you all have a good weekend. This is gonna be a little two-part series because I know we're already probably 17 minutes in. So other than that, you know, Axel's helping me out. You know, he's been working pretty hard this week, so he's relaxing today. So hope you all have a good day. You know, and catch y'all later. Stay tuned for part 2.